what relationship in your life right now where you feel out of control, but it's because you want it more than another relationship. It could be a coworker, it could be a boss, it could be a mentor, it could be a child. Your teenager doesn't give a It's a short one. Chapter 5. Any relationship is under control of the person who cares the least. Amen. Marriages that come to my attention are on life support. Their common theme is that they have become power struggles. In fact, most appear to have been so from the beginning. Most relationships are power struggles, by the way. The issues over which the contest is fought are familiar. Money, children, sex. But the underlying causes are usually diminished self-respect and unmet expectations. I want to read that last thing again. The underlying causes are usually diminished self-respect and unmet expectations. I mean, his writing is just so amazing. Like he gets right to the heart of it, man. Diminished self-respect and unmet expectations. Isn't that true? Can I have an amen? Can I have an amen for Dr. Gordon Livingston? If you think back about your fights with your spouse or hard times or your divorce, that's it, isn't it? Diminished self-respect and unmet expectations. You expected something from your spouse, your significant other, and they didn't come through. Our attempts to find a partner center upon the concept of romantic love, an earthly paradise or shared delusion that is the basis for most of the stories we consume about what it means to achieve happiness. It's fucking Disney. I mean, the fairy tales. I like Cinderella, tell me, but it is... Have you guys read about that? It was about 10 years ago, maybe 20 now, about how harmful these Disney fairy tales are to women. The ways in which people come together and choose each other place a great emphasis on the potent combination of sexual attraction and a sort of enlightened self-interest that evaluates the other person on a series of qualities and achievements: education, earning potential, shared interests, trustworthiness, and philosophy of life. Each person's assessment of a prospective mate using these standards creates a certain set of expectations. Like, hey, you're with the surgeon, you expect to be like living the big life, and then he retires. Hey, Dr. V and baby Milani here for a quick word for our sponsor, Resellers Program. Resellers is the quick, easy way for average people like you and me to make a free $750 a month without hosting parties or doing sales. It's not an MLM. There's no credit check to see if you can be approved for it. It's a free $750 a month. Text DRV to my friend Jerry at the number listed below. It is the failure of these expectations over time that causes relationships to dissolve. If this formulation appears to be overly analytical and to ignore the mysterious process of quote-unquote falling in love, that is because, in my experience, the chemistry that causes us to choose one person over all other possibilities can be seen in retrospect as a combination of readiness, lust, and hope, rather than an indefinable but powerful union of two souls. I think he's so right. Like we're deluded. Like somehow we're going to find someone that's going to complete us, make us whole. That's all fairy tale bullshit. It is really, you got to be ready. You got to be open to having a relationship. Readiness, you have to be ready. Lust, you got to want it. And hope, eager desire, rather than an indefinable but powerful union of two souls. I would be more ready to believe in the latter if there was more evidence of its persistence over time. Among the most ominous and revealing developments in modern marriage has been the increasing popularity of prenuptial agreements. Once the province of the very wealthy, these contracts have become common among people who are entering into marriage after they have accumulated assets that they are reluctant to share with their partner. Wow, that's interesting. Reluctant to share with our partner. The reasons for protecting what you bring into the marriage sound perfectly valid on the surface. Often each party has children to whom they want to direct their inheritance. Most have already experienced a divorce that has been expensive both financially and emotionally, and are aware of statistics that show that second or third marriages have an even higher failure rate than their first marriages. Nevertheless, it is discouraging to see a couple about to join their lives acting like purchasers of used cars. Not even new cars. Like he picks the adjective used cars because it is. We've been used. Like, you're on your second run. So powerful. We require contracts from people we do not trust. They protect us against those we fear will take advantage of us. To require such an agreement from someone we purport to love reflects a deeply cynical view of the relationship, amounting to a prediction of failure that, like most expectations, is often realized. If I had a shit ton of money, I'd probably get a prenup. The law, or just not get married, man. Just not get married. Say, I'm just going to take care of you as long as we're together. The law has been slowly evolving on this point so that irreconcilable differences and no-fault divorce have replaced the more traditional grounds that were heretofore required to end a marriage, which makes me wonder, why even have the institution of marriage? Nevertheless, the need to find reasons for separation often results in a climate of blame in which each person tries to seize the moral high ground. He cheated on me. Blah, blah, blah. With especially unhappy results for any children involved. As marriages enter the long slide toward alienation, or maybe we shouldn't get married so quickly. How about that? Maybe we should find the right person. And there are all of these people like, we were together 5 years, then got married, and shit hit the fan. I don't know. You're allowed to change. As marriages enter the long slide toward alienation, it is seldom a symmetrical process. Oh, I'm curious. While I'm reading, put bad marriage in your relationship, in the comment section. Bad marriage or bad relationship. Put bad relationship if a bad relationship added to your obesity. Like, it could be the cause, if you want to say it was the cause of your obesity. But like, when things hit the fan is when you really started packing on the weight. If your partner was controlling you by your weight, etc. Put bad relationship if a bad relationship really compounded your obesity. As marriages enter the long slide toward alienation, it is seldom a symmetrical process. One party typically feels and expresses less affection and respect than the other. Tess Hollock says bad relationship. Shan says bad marriage. Penny Pretty says added for sure. This appears to be a bid to seize control of the relationship. Oh, I have to reread that because I totally forgot. One party typically feels and expresses less affection and respect than the other. This appears to be a bid to seize control of the relationship, right? That this effort has been successful can be seen when one spouse has a greater investment in reconciliation and is much more upset at the prospect of ending the marriage. When I point out to people that much of the distress they are feeling is not shared by their partner, and that this is a source of their feeling out of control, they are usually quick to recognize their predicament. And in italics, while it takes two people to create a relationship, It takes only one to end it. Damn! Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Have you ever thought about that? This book is so full of nuggets. While it takes two people to create a relationship, it takes only one to end it. Damn it. Mofo. Because you can't be in a relationship. So Wayne Dyer says you can't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to be in one with you. When I read wedding announcements and look at the smiling pictures of couples newly betrothed, I understand that no one is saying to them, you know that the chances of this marriage enduring are no better than 50-50. What makes you think that you will win the coin flip? Such a question would be unthinkable for people with stars in their eyes, so it will not be asked. The ground for disappointment and betrayal is prepared. An act of supreme optimism, courage, or foolishness, depending on your point of view, is encouraged to pursue its hopeful course, and the ghost of Christmas future is silent. Wow. And the ghost of Christmas future is silent. What a chapter. A lot of you have put bad marriage, and each relationship can go through cycles. Like you can have, starts off as a good relationship, goes through a rough patch, and then ends in divorce. Or it could repeat good, bad, good, bad, good, bad several times and never end in a divorce, or it could eventually end in divorce. If you're not growing in the same direction, you're growing apart. I mean, you might feel like you're growing and they're growing, to LaDon's point, but if you're growing, you could be growing in wrong directions, you know. And that's where communication is key, talking is key, but a lot of talking I have found is not really talking. It's really blaming or one-upping, or, you know, it's that Seinfeld episode, Festivus. It's the airing of grievances. I think it's very painful to watch people, like, you know, these people that are like, oh, we're staying together for the children. And then once the children get to 18, move out, they get divorced. Or they hang on for another 5 years and don't make it for, like, end up like, no. And then they get divorced or go through, you know, breakup. One guy in my men's group was going through a breakup, high school sweetheart. And they're probably 50 years old or so, like late 40s, 50s. I mean, they still have they have like 4 kids. Oldest is like in high school. The youngest is, you know, like 8. So yeah, like, so 8 or 9. And she decided that it wasn't a good relationship for her. And they were trying to reconcile it. And last thing I heard is I think they're going through divorce. So people that talk and never let you get in a word talks nonsense. I don't think that they know what they're talking about. They can't, because the second that they let you talk, then it's almost like admitting, like letting in. The dogs might be back. But remember that truth. Any relationship is under the control of the person who cares the least. I want you to take today and think about any harmful relationships. You might not know they're harmful. And I mean, I know mother-in-laws get a lot of flack, but if you think about it, you know, mother-in-laws, like, from the perspective of the in-law, doesn't care about you. She cares about her son or her daughter, you know, and you're not good enough to be with her son, or you don't cook as good as she does, or you don't keep a house as tidy as she does, or this is not how we raised him. She doesn't give a fuck about you. That's to the root of a lot of familial dysfunction. It's the person who has the control. And remember number 5. It's the person who cares the least, has the most control. Control of a relationship. So it's not money. So if you look at Trump and Melania, it's very clear. She controls that relationship. She doesn't give a fuck. She would never hold his hand in public, even when they're walking, when they're meeting dignitaries, when they're doing whatever. She doesn't care. She's in that relationship for the money. And I don't know them. Who am I to judge? But I'm just saying, from just observing, just being a natural observer, it's pretty apparent to me she doesn't care. Now, I want you to think about what relationship in your life right now where you feel out of control, but it's because you want it more than another relationship. It could be a coworker. It could be a boss. It could be a mentor. It could be a child. Your teenager doesn't give a fuck. They're walking all over you. They come home. They just want to be fed. They want to go out. Don't tell me what to do. And then we lose control. We lose our shit. I'm going to ground you. I'm taking away your phone. You are blah, blah, blah. And it's yelling, yelling, yelling. I don't know what works. You know, I just tell Kizzy, like, I want you to know, Daddy's always here for you. I love you. I want you to be happy. The most important thing I want for you is for you to be happy. And it's so funny. Like, one day I said this was back in the spring, like back in June. I said to Kizzy, Kizzy, do you know what Daddy wants for you? And she says, for me to make money? I said, no. She goes, yes, it is. I said, no, for you to be happy. How many times have I told you that? See, they don't hear. She goes, oh, right, but to be happy, but you want me to make money too. I said, of course I do. But the number one thing is for you to be happy. We were talking about what she wants to do when she grows up, you know. And I swear to God, a week later, I looked at Mason, and I was like, I want to try this on Mason. I said, Mason, what does Daddy want for you when you grow up? And she said, to be rich. To be rich, motherfucker. I was like, no. I want you to be happy. She goes, oh, right. Yes, to be happy. But you also want me to be rich. I said, yes. So how interesting is that? Both of my daughters that are old enough to speak. Oh, by the way, Melanie, her 2 little bottom teeth have budded. They came out. How interesting is that both of my daughters thought I wanted them to be rich, which now that I'm reading this book makes me think maybe I need to change how I communicate. You know, I think I live well, and I thought I was like expressing a life of fun. Maybe it's the purposelessness, but I don't want to confuse it with like excessive work. I've already done the 80-hour work weeks, you know, like it's not about working hard, it's lifestyle. But somewhere in the communication, they got the rich part, but they missed the main point, which is the happy Asian. You know, happy. I want you to be happy. So maybe I should ask Erica. Erica, what do I want for you? And she says, to make a lot of money, mofo. No, Erica, for you to be happy, honey. That takes money. It does. You can be rich and happy. I have been both rich and happy and poor and happy. And I will tell you, rich and happy is way better.